What's going on, guys? Zennosh here, and today in this video of the Calibria Crystal Guardians, I am bringing the guide of Mountain King to you guys. He's an attack-based hero unit, and he has a lot of nukes in his skills arsenal that can really help you a lot in the PvE content as well as the PvP contents, and we are now going to discuss like how. First of all, guys, please do subscribe to my channel. All right, can you please at least do that? And now let's get started with the basic stats. At the level of 35, he will have an HP of 12,150. That's pretty average. 826 defense, average. 1207 attack, average. 101 speed, average. All right, so he's pretty much average when it comes to the basic stats, but his skills actually is something stunning. Yeah, it literally stuns. First skill is known as the Hammer Hitter. It says, smash the enemy with a giant golden hammer 2 times. Each attack deals 165% of attack and damage. That's a total of 330% of attack and damage, right? And that's a lot. 40% chance or 50% chance to slow the target for 2 turns. Alright, if both attacks deals critical damage, recover 15% of own HP. Boom, there we go. A sustenance skill indeed. Especially if you are really trying to use him as a farmer. This skill is going to really help him in sustain for a longer period of time. Meaning he can farm effectively, right? The next thing is going to be this Storm Hammer. So it is the second skill, first version. Summon a Storm Hammer to attack an enemy and deal 450% of attack in damage. That's a lot of damage, guys. You can easily snipe an opponent out of the commission. And somehow you are not able to knock that enemy out. What's going to happen is that 100% chance to stun the target. Like, what the F? Yeah, stun is always going to be great, especially for the arena contents, especially if you really want to pick out a certain opponent out of the battle for a certain period of time. It's going to be really handy because they will be like unable to use any of their skills or any kind of action in that period of turn where they are stunned. So you can separate the main black horse of that team, especially if they are using OP type of units, like let's say Joanne, like let's say Shaman, right? That can actually be a very problematic thing for you guys. And if you just stun them, it's gonna be easy, guys. And reduce their defense for 1 turn. 100% chance to reduce their defense for 1 turn. That's a lot. I mean, like, if you can reduce their defense will go down by up to 70%. That means it will open up a gate for humongous damage output to them in near future, like in the next turn. So if the target is stunned or is already stunned, immediately gain a bonus attack turn. Remember, 100% chance to stun. If you manage to stun that target, he's gonna get a bonus turn. That means he can easily snipe 2 units at a time. How convenient. Like, what? Yeah. Second version of his second skill is pretty much like a farming type of skill. I'm not pretty much a fan of it, but let's talk about it. Cracking a Hammer. Alright, it says, it is an AoE attack that deals up to 285% of attack in damage to all enemies, and it has a 50% chance to reduce the target energy by up to 50%, which obviously can also be quite handy in the arena content. But I think stun is much better because like you can easily separate a problematic opponent right away. And for this one to be quite effective, you also need to give him a lot of speed. As he's an attack-based unit, you would really love to, or you would really want to focus in his attack, critical rate, and critical damage instead of his just speed stats, right? And slow them for 2 turns. That is like, alright. And 50% chance is not really that great as well. There's always going to be a 50% chance. And obviously, if it goes through the resistance, effect resistance, and everything that's going to happen with the opponent, 50% chance also kind of like, it goes down as well. Alright. The next thing is going to be the Thunder Hammer. Summon thunderous power and strike an enemy to deal 885% of attack in damage. That's a lot. His second skill is pretty much damn good enough to knock out a single opponent. And here we go with his ultimate skill that he can deal an 885% of attack in damage. That's insane. He can easily get rid of 2 opponents at a time, or at least get 1 opponent stunned, whereas he can get rid of another squishy opponent right away. So that's pretty insane. That's pretty good. If the target is affected with the action lock, increase the damage by 1.5x further. 50% damage boost. Wow, that's a lot. Oh my, the damage that you can deal with this Thunder Hammer is just insane. This is really a wrath upon your opponents. So, you can easily combo the skill 2 with the skill 3 first version right away. And this is obviously going to guarantee you a very upper hand, a very good hand against your opponent on the arena content. And even in the PvE contents, 85% of attack in damage is pretty much a very huge damage that you can really use against the bosses. Like, just watch them how they melt away right instantaneously. If they have like action lock also like afflicted to them, like that's a lot of damage, and it has only a 4 turn of cooldown. Amazing. Then the next thing is gonna be the Twilight of Gods. It is all of own negative status effects and gain immunity for 3 turns. Alright, immediately gain a bonus attack turn. Wow, that's good. It's gonna be good for arena as well, meaning it will be really hard for your opponent to snipe you out because or make you ineffective. Like, let's say, obviously it's an attack based unit. That means like he's gonna have like lesser speed. That means your opponent will have like the first move, and that means like they can affect you with a lot of debuffs or let's say negative status effects and a lot of damage right away thanks to that. And when it comes to be your turn, you won't be able to deal a lot of damage as you intend to, because like you already have like attack down maybe, or maybe like sort of like a hit rate reduction and stuff like that. That can actually be a very problematic thing. And in this kind of case, guys, just getting rid of all negative status effects is going to be a really good thing, and gaining immunity is the another insurance and security guard for you that you will be able to impact opponent without any trouble at all. This is really great. And gaining an instantaneously bonus attack turn. Wow, this is great. Meaning like, first of all, you can go with the Twilight Gods. You can use the Storm Hammer, and then again you can go with the Hammerhead. I mean like 3 skills at a single turn. Jesus, that's a lot. So Twilight God is pretty much tricky to use, and it only has a 3-turn cooldown. So there we go. It's even much better. I mean, like, it's gonna be available for him all the time. Twilight God, it's really good, really good. Next thing is gonna be passive. King's Raise. Each attack has a 30% chance to stun the target for 1 turn. For each active buff, increase own attack by up to 30%. Wow, that's great. Meaning, if you really want to be an effective farmer, King's Raise is going to be really good. And if you really want to become a very good disabler, instead of using him as an attack hero that he is, using him as a utility hero is also going to work really fine. 30% stun chance, and try to give him like Desperation runes, and that will also kind of improve his stun rate. And with that one, using the Cracking Hammer, you will be able to stun most of the opponent in the arena content, giving you the upper hand, and also at the same time reducing their energy and also like slowing them for 2 turns. Wow, you are really gonna cripple them really nicely. That's the thing right out there. And first skill is also a 2-hit type of like single targeting attack. That means like there's gonna be a good chance that you are really gonna stun your opponents. The next thing is going to be the Leader skill. It has a 41% chance hit rate provided, as a bonus for all allied heroes in every region. So that is like, all right, this can be pretty good as well, especially if you are really trying to improve the chances to land any sort of like debuff that you are intending to, like reducing the target's energy or stunning them and stuff like that, or reducing the defense of the opponents. Like especially for your support units who are also trying to do the same, like for Shaman and many other units who are trying to inflict a lot of dots, like let's say Abyss Lord, and this can actually be quite useful for them as well. So I really don't think that it's going to be really that useful in all of the content, but in some content, this can be quite good, especially in the early game content where you are really trying to make sure that the dot really lands on the opponents so that you have easier gaming time. So that's it and done. What sort of rune build is going to help our Mountain King the best? Let's discuss about that one right away. My first recommendation is obviously going to be the attack rune set. Obviously, he's an attack type hero unit. So more attack he has, the more damage he's going to deal. And that's always going to be a very bonus advantage for him, right? So 4 pieces will provide him up to 35% of attack boost. And with 6 pieces, he will also be able to ignore 15% of the enemy's defense, providing a lot of damage output, as simple as that. Whereas for the destruction, it's gonna be like a sort of like end game type of rune set that's gonna improve his damage even further. 4 pieces will provide him up to like 40% additional critical damage. That's a lot. And with 6 pieces, he's gonna get additional 15% attack boost. Wow, that's a lot of damage that you are gonna deal to the opponent. And you can go with the Berserk rune as well, because like you can just get additional turns right away ASAP, and then you can keep on channeling your nukes as soon as possible so that like he can be more effective when it comes to the battles, right? So Berserk is pretty good as well, providing him up to like 30% chance for bonus turn. Obviously with the bonus turn, that means like his skill cooldown will also go by like 1 turn every time he gets the extra turn. So that's pretty awesome, right? And next thing is gonna be the Desperation rune. Especially, it can be combined with the third version of his third skill that already provides him a 30% of stun rate in each and every one of his attacks. That means like with added bonus with this one, that's going to be so good. It's really good, guys. 4 pieces will provide you a 25% of stun rate possibility, whereas the 6 pieces will also allow you to reduce the target's energy by up to 50%. Provided that his second skill is an AoE skill, that means he will have easier time in landing the stuns on an AoE scale, which is going to be quite useful in the arena contest as well, if you really give him this Desperation runes to provide an additional boost to your stun rate. So that's pretty much it. Whereas for the second slot, the fourth slot, and the sixth slot, what would be the main stats or the primary stats? For the second slot, obviously go with the attack percentage boost. That's how you are supposed to deal a lot of damage. In the battles, you are supposed to get a lot of energy boost from other hero units, like let's say Demonic Swordsman, alright? Or let's say Windwalker, and any other support units that gives you a lot of energy boost in order to get a lot of speed. So that's why I try to give him an attack percentage boost so that like his damage is gonna really hit very hard. He's a nuker, try to build him as a nuker, alright? And whereas for the fourth slot, please try to go with the critical rate. If you really don't have like enough amount of critical rate coming from your substats, but if you already have a lot of crit rate, meaning like above 80% of crit rate coming from your substats of your runes, then congratulations, you can go with the critical damage boost as the primary stat to deal even more greater damage output. Whereas for the sixth slot, again, go with the attack percentage boost. This is gonna really help you out. For the case of his speed, please try to depend upon the other hero units like Demonic Swordsman to provide him the extra energy gauge boost, alright? So what would be the best substat for this guy? Speed boost, attack percentage boost, crit rate boost, and critical damage boost. These 4 substats, alright? And now, this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the contents of my channel. And see you guys in the next video.